Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today what we're gonna do is an update at the end of this video. What this video is mainly about today is going to be the things that nobody wants to talk about. I got a request to do a video pretty much talking about things that are embarrassing, TMI things, the things nobody wants to admit or talk about, but we're all women here, or maybe you are someone who has a friend that's pregnant, or your spouse or your significant other is pregnant and they're going through some weird changes that are probably not so weird after all. So I am no medical expert. This is my second pregnancy. If you guys have been following me, you know I was doing pregnancy updates before this whole virus, I can't say it, well I think I can say it, before the whole virus started. So it's been a while. I want this to be like a super long video. I just want it to be quick and to the point, and then I can get to my update. Also, we'll be doing a bare belly shot at the end of this video. Make sure you stick around for that. And if you have not subscribed to my channel and you like to see mommy videos, pregnancy videos, and just lifestyle videos, as well as cleaning and decor, then go ahead and subscribe down below. Somebody wants to give you a fruit snack. Say hi. So let's go ahead and get to the things that nobody wants to talk about, the really nasty, embarrassing things. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. The first thing I want to mention that I got questions about are stretch marks and moles and skin tags. And I've kind of listed some of these in different categories, and sorry about the background noise. I have to make sure he's occupied and safe, so it might be a little bit noisy, but that is mom life. Skin tags are completely normal. Not everybody gets new moles and skin tags, but I would say the majority of people that I have spoken to get stretch marks. For me, I got some stretch marks, but I didn't notice them until I gave birth. They were kind of on my hips, under my belly, and I'll try to show you a little bit I guess when I do my bare belly shot, but mine were pretty good. They are the lighter ones that you can't really see that much. I know some people get like really bad dark stretch marks, and that can be quite embarrassing, but I think it's really important, and I will probably say this a million times through this whole video, but I think it's really important to embrace your body and know that carrying a child is just such a blessing, and our bodies were made for this. And so a lot of people have stretch marks without even carrying children. It's just the elasticity of your skin. Some people, they have skin that's super elastic, which means it can stretch a lot of ways and not be affected. Other people don't even have to have babies, and if they lift weights or even if they just go through growth, they get stretch marks. It is beautiful, it is natural, and there is nothing to be embarrassed about. However, I do know that a lot of people think that it is embarrassing to have stretch marks just because it's a change, you know, that you're not used to. A lot of these things are changes that you're not used to. With the skin tags, when I was pregnant with Richie, I grew one skin tag, and it was super weird because super strange and embarrassing because I just saw it one day and I was like, oh great. I was in the bathroom one day and I noticed it, and it didn't really bother me too bad. It's just all the changes, like I said, that you have to adjust to. But it was just this tiny little skin tag, and I don't have it anymore. And I never grew those before, so that was part of the pregnancy. I do know that a lot of people grow moles that never go away, but it is what it is. Other thing I want to talk about that has to do with like skin changes are vein changes. So like spider veins, varicose veins, even like really dark veins can pop up. I know people who are in the best shape of their life even when they're pregnant, and they get spider veins for 9 months and then they go away. I know some people who get the spider or varicose veins and they don't go away. Me personally, it runs in my family, so I already have some. All I can say is if this is embarrassing to you, just use some self-tanner or some makeup and you're good to go. Again, it's natural, it's going to happen, and it is perfectly normal. However, you might see it as embarrassing if you're not used to that on your body. Next topic is like for sure TMI, so I hope everybody watching can just be adults about this. I don't even know like if I can be an adult about this, but this topic is like spotting or bleeding or discharge changes. Your discharge during pregnancy, it can be a different color, a different smell, a different texture. That is perfectly normal. The chemistry in your body is completely changing. Don't judge yourself or be too hard on yourself. And I'm sure if you go to your OB and you're concerned, they're gonna tell you that it's perfectly normal and that you are not the only one who's having changes. And also that goes along with like UTIs and yeast infections. Like when I was pregnant with Richie, I got my first yeast infection ever. I don't get those at all, and I haven't gotten one since. And it was just so weird because in my first trimester, I just got one and I don't know why. And she said it's very normal. My OB said it was very, very normal to start experiencing that. And then when you pop that baby out, it's like you're back to normal. Sometimes you don't get those infections anymore. Again, your body is just rapidly going through some changes. If you experience any spotting or bleeding, that can be very normal, but you should always call your doctor if you are concerned, or if it is more than spots of blood, if there are any clots or anything like that. But I think there's something called like a false period, where you can kind of seem like you're on your period. It can be like more than a little bit of spots, but still not anything harmful. So maybe like bleeding. I've never gone through that personally. I would freak out if I was pregnant and I saw blood. I would freak out. Thank you. I might have a little visitor in and out of this video. Do you want to draw? Right here. So personally, I do know that if I saw blood and I was pregnant, I would probably freak out and call my nurse, but just know that it can be very, very normal during pregnancy too. I think especially during your first trimester. The next thing I want to talk about, I specifically got asked to address this topic, and it is gas. So a lot of women experience acid reflux, gas, indigestion, and I think there was another one. Oh my gosh, what was it? But anyway, all of those weird gassy symptoms. It can be very embarrassing if you're walking through the house, tooting more than normal, burping more than normal, or you have that little like throw up feeling in your chest. You can just feel like something is stuck right here and it's just a burning sensation. With my first pregnancy with Richie, I was up every single night. I had to take those dissolvable tablets for Zantac, and I am on those again right now. I am in my third trimester, 28 weeks pregnant, and I just started taking those again. But I get it during the day now. So with him, I could not sleep. The indigestion was so bad, but I would take one of those and 5 seconds later, like a minute or two later, it would just completely go away. It was awesome. So I highly suggest that if you are dealing with indigestion. Next little pair of symptoms that I want to run through briefly are very strange and can be very embarrassing if you ask me. Changes in your gums and your teeth, and also oh my gosh, what was that? And also blurry eyes and vision changes. I find myself squinting with this one. With Richie, I didn't quite have like blurry vision or anything like that, or spots in the eyes, but I am really struggling with it this time. I mean, my midwife asked me if I had any vision changes, and I absolutely do. I found myself just going like this, and myself like squinting, and everybody is blurry or things just don't look the same. I've never had contacts, never had glasses, never had anything but fantastic vision. I feel like a little different than normal because I do see spots and stuff, and like you have to be careful because a lot of symptoms are okay, but they can be a sign of preeclampsia. So you always want to ask your nurse or your midwife if you're having like vision problems, swelling problems, and a lot of trouble keeping like food down and stuff, I think. So I have all of those problems, or have had all of those problems, but mine have been in a normal, somewhat level, so it's fine. My teeth have been affected both pregnancies. My gums have been in the first trimester very sore and sometimes even bloody, and at first I thought it was my Invisalign that were making my teeth sore and everything like that. However, it is very normal to have sensitive teeth and sensitive gums, and also have them bleed and whatnot. Just make sure you're really taking good care of them. and you should be fine. That should not last forever. Another thing that might go along with that is headaches. So like, I know if your teeth hurt, you might get headaches, or just in general with your pregnancy. It might be really annoying, not so much embarrassing, but you might get super bad headaches. And I remember my doctor, again, ask your nurse because I'm not one, but like my doctor told me to take 2 Tylenol, not ibuprofen, but 2 Tylenol with like some caffeine. Headaches are not bad this time. I'm staying very hydrated and I'm lucky to dodge them. But last time it was terrible in the first trimester, terrible. I had to take more Tylenol than I wanted to. It wasn't every day that I took it. I suffered through a lot of it, but I also got to rest more and didn't have a toddler. So yeah, the thing I want to talk about is super, super common, but super embarrassing to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about it, but here I am to tell you, it is okay if you're vomiting and you have a ton of diarrhea. That's right, diarrhea. Nobody wants to talk about this, and yet it is so common. Like, some women, when they find out they're pregnant, it's because of an upset stomach. That is like the worst diarrhea you ever had. It could be triggered just by pregnancy, something you ate. I know I am super sensitive to foods in my 3rd trimester. It is happening this time. It happened last time with Richie. All I wanted was steak and baked potatoes, and every time I ate any kind of meat, even if it was extra well done, I was up on the toilet vomiting and with an upset stomach. Every night in the 3rd trimester, just about, I was having an upset stomach and vomiting, and just, I don't know, but the main thing that would set it off was meat. I found out I was pregnant with Richie. It was because I thought I had a bug, like the worst bug I've ever had, but it only happened at night. I was fine during the day, and then I would get home, and in the evenings it would be like, oh my gosh, like I've got to go to the bathroom, and I'd spend all night in there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, I must have a bug, I must be getting sick. Nope, I was just pregnant, and that was at 5 or 6 weeks, and that's how I decided to take a test with Richie. Now with Aurora, I did not get that, but I am still having to go to the bathroom a lot. Anything can trigger it. Your stomach's just very sensitive, and sometimes your baby just doesn't like what you ate that day. It's okay. We can all talk about it. We've all been in that position. Just make sure you stay hydrated and take care of yourself. And again, if you experience something that's excessive, that you go ahead and you reach out to your nurse or midwife. This one is kind of weird to talk about too, and it could be very embarrassing. I know as a woman, it can be very embarrassing. You hear a lot of people say pregnancy changes your body in so many ways when it comes to the stretch marks and the boobs. So we are going to talk about breasts, and the thing about it is, if you are having a baby and you are pregnant, your breasts are going to change. If you are going to breastfeed that baby, your breasts are going to change. They get really full and beautiful at first, and then they get like uncomfortably big, and your nipples get bigger and darker, and it's all just to prep for feeding that beautiful baby. And it's just, they just look different. It just all looks different. And I know it's a lot of change to go through, but I really wish that less people would be embarrassed, because it is just such a beautiful thing to get to experience that. And your spouse should love you no matter what. You should love your body no matter what. It's a powerful thing. But I do understand why women get a little self-conscious about the changes that happen, because when it comes to your breast changes, it's a lot. When you stop breastfeeding and everything sort of dries up, it changes again, and it is sometimes not pretty. Breasts go from super full to super big. At least they're still big. They may be crazy huge looking and uncomfortable for you, but at least they're big. And then it goes to dried up breasts that sometimes, actually a lot of times, end up being smaller than what you thought you had before you even got pregnant. So it is, I think, our responsibility to appreciate those changes that our bodies go through to be able to raise and feed and maintain human life. It's just amazing. We'll have to talk about the rest of it in a postpartum video. There's a lot of things postpartum that we can talk about, so I'll definitely address more embarrassing or weird, strange changes after I give birth to my baby so that we can address all these postpartum changes, because I know you guys are gonna ask me about that because they can be just as weird and your hormones are just as crazy as when you're pregnant. Next thing I wanna talk about, it's not really embarrassing, but I guess it can be depending on where you're at. You can feel lightheaded or faint. If you've ever heard about a pregnant woman fainting, there is a reason for that. It is because if you do not stay hydrated and take care of yourself, you can easily get lightheaded and pass out just about anywhere. You can start to feel like the bean bags in your legs. I had to leave a wedding because I almost passed out. I was a bridesmaid and I had to go out the door because I was passing out. So you have to make sure you take care of yourself. And unfortunately, I've heard about women who completely take care of themselves and they make sure they eat enough and drink enough and they still just have those feelings and they still faint. And it can be embarrassing if you're in public, but I would say it's more dangerous than anything. So sorry if you are going through that a lot. Another symptom that is super embarrassing sometimes that a lot of people don't want to admit or talk about is that you have to get up a lot to use the bathroom. Even from the beginning of your pregnancy, your kidneys are flushing things out at a much faster rate, so you're gonna find yourself peeing a lot, and some women even pee the bed because your dreams are super, super in depth. You could have really strange dreams, which is another symptom, and be stuck in a dream and have to go to the bathroom and you just simply can't hold it. So if you've peed the bed once or twice, I am so sorry about that. That can be embarrassing, but just put a mat underneath and that is perfectly normal. That is also another reason why pregnant women are so exhausted, because we just can't get comfortable when we sleep, and by the time we do get comfortable, we have to get up to pee. A little bit embarrassing, but just hang in there. It'll all go back to normal shortly after you give birth. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about, I hope I'm not missing anything. I tried to make this as quick as possible without like rushing everything, but I'm gonna try to stay on top of everything. The last subject I'm going to talk about in this video is hair changes, fluid changes, and swelling. These things can be super embarrassing. Not that we should care what anybody thinks of us. It's embarrassing because we have to spend hours looking for shoes because our feet are like sausages, or we just can't fit into any clothes, or we just can't find anything that's comfortable. We can't get into any comfortable positions. Oh, that reminds me of one. Okay, this is the second to last one. But you might experience a lot of fluid buildup, a lot of swelling. I know with my first one, I gained a ton of fluid. About halfway through, I started swelling. I couldn't fit my boots. It was winter and I didn't want to put layers on. I remember it hurting from me swelling so bad in my hips and my legs and everything like that. Some people swell in their face and they get that huge pregnancy nose. I don't know what that is about. Some people get like these huge lips, which, hey, I'm not complaining about that, but some people hold it all in their nose, and I don't even know why that is, but a lot of my friends go through that and they cannot stand it. They say it's so embarrassing. They don't even feel or look like themselves, but what can you do? For me, it was my feet were sausages and they couldn't fit in any shoes, and it was so embarrassing. I had like super bad ankles, and I don't have skinny ankles anyway, so it was like on steroids. Yeah, babe. So yeah, that can be super embarrassing sometimes, but I will tell you, right when I popped that child out 2 years ago, I lost 7 pounds, 7 ounces from the baby and about 20 more pounds of fluid. It is just another way that your body is changing to accommodate the baby that you're about to have, and it will go back to normal shortly, if not immediately after you give birth. So please do not worry about that. The last thing that I just thought about, this is very strange, but it is so normal, are the lightning pains. People call it lightning crotch, shooting, stabbing pains in your hoo-ha or your downstairs or whatever you want to call it. Let's be technical and just say vagina. You have lightning pains in your pelvis area or your vagina, or even sometimes like with me, with my endo, I think it's with my ovaries, my uterus, even like my butt area. There's a lot of shooting pains that can happen, a lot of round ligament stretching, and especially when that child lowers, you're gonna feel your pelvis start to really go into overtime. So if you start feeling sharp pains, like very, very low in your pelvis and vagina area, it is so normal. You have to think about everything is trying to stretch and loosen and soften and get ready for that baby, because when you go into the hospital, they'll tell you a 1 centimeter is like this and a 10 is like this. And that's what you have to go through in order to give birth to your baby. So don't freak out, it's perfectly normal. It's only as embarrassing as we let it be. So let's just normalize it, because it is absolutely common. All of these symptoms are common, and I am super blessed to be experiencing all of these weird things, or a lot of them, twice. My personal update is that I am about 28 weeks pregnant now. I am in my 3rd trimester. Woo! We are giving birth in July, at the end of July 24th, if you haven't seen my other updates. My cravings are a lot of salty followed with a lot of sweet. I've wanted more chocolate than anything in the world. I have been eating a ton, drinking a lot of water. I have started getting sick and getting upset stomach a little bit more, and just being more sensitive to the things that I do eat. I got sick off of Alfredo one day, a corn dog, and something else that was really weird. Salad, that's what it was. So I haven't had a salad since, because vomiting pickles was the worst thing I've ever vomited with him, and it burned so bad. And then, this is TMI too, but like, vomiting salad is just as bad. My baby shower is now being switched to an online baby shower, and it's gonna be amazing, and I get to invite so many more people than I would have if it was an in-person shower. But I am trying to embrace all of the changes for the stay-at-home order that is in place in my state. My hair, I don't know if I mentioned this with like the fluid and the swelling, skin changes and things like that, but your hair and your skin can just be super itchy and super dry, and I am definitely going through that. As a matter of fact, I think I skipped that because I talk about it so much in my other videos, but my hair is super dry, my skin is super dry, so I just have to make sure it's hydrated. The only time I apply heat is if I'm going to do like a video. Otherwise, I just kind of put a mask in and put it up. I am 30 now, so I just ordered a skincare line from Pharmacy Beauty, I think it is. So I have to get my sugar test done again, but I think I'm gonna have my finger pricked. I am now switching to a home birth with a birthing tub. I asked my midwife about the research for seeing if a birthing tub was unsanitary or not. If it is sanitary and the research holds up, then I may give it a try. I am trying to get the house all settled. I am super nesting right now. I'm getting everything ready to give birth in my own home. I really am gonna enjoy that, I think, and I think right now is the right time to do a home birth, and even some insurances are allowing coverage in certain states that they didn't before because of the virus. So if you are pregnant and if you are afraid that this whole thing is not gonna blow over and you don't feel comfortable going to the hospital, or your spouse isn't allowed in and you really don't like that, then try for a home birth and see if that's the route for you. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, just comment down below in the comment section, or follow me on Instagram. It's lady.j.bug, and I will go ahead and show you my 28-week bare belly. And sorry if I've been out of breath the whole time. I guess that's another symptom I forgot to mention. You can be super short of breath. From the moment you get pregnant, you'll see changes. Oxygen levels are changing, or I guess maybe not the levels are changing, but basically you're trying to grow that baby. And so in a nutshell, I was told that they are taking some of your oxygen, so you're gonna have a hard time breathing, even if you don't feel fat and heavy already. I am a worship leader at my church, and I realized how much harder it is to sing and be long-winded and catch my breath, and I normally am not long-winded anyway, so I get out of breath really easy. And it seems like, oh my God, breathe, girl, breathe. But it's like, I'm a mile a minute, and it's like my brain and my mouth is going, but the oxygen is just not enough. So if I slowed down and really took my time, this video would probably be like an hour long. I'm just gonna stop rambling again and show you my beer belly. All right, this is my 28-week belly. As you can see, my belly button is not protruding, but it is tight to my stomach. I don't know if you can see, but there's one of my little stretch marks right there. And those are the ones that I got a little bit from Mr. Richard. And this is it from the other side. She is very low. Her head and everything is down here, and her feet can be on either side, but I'm carrying her a lot lower than I carry Richie. So yeah, that's my belly. So guys, that is the video. I hope I didn't keep you for too long. I tried to get through all of the things that I've been behind on, and I've been MIA because of just life and just trying to adjust, so I'm trying to catch up in one video. I want to say thank you for watching our video, and if you loved it, give it a big old thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!